Shalom. I'm just double checking. I'm trying to figure out. I think I got it right. Shalom, Malak, La'ab. Shalom, Yahba, Shema, Shah, Brakatah. Shalom, Salak. I'm trying to fix it. Let's see it. Shalom, Luam, Amath, Yahawada. Shalom, Yahba, Shema, Shah, Brakatah. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Rakak, Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of the Great Millstone for teaching this truth time and time again, starting off from the One West camps, starting with Ava Bivens, to also our other elders that are giving us that non-stop energy, and we continue as preaching around this world, showing us what's happening in Babylon the Great, which is we all see what's going on, that digital banking is coming. But we got to understand that things have to happen. Need them the power. So we're about to have complete darkness because the Lord is judging these people on the earth. Shalom, Asraka, Yahbashim al Shah Brakatah, Yahbashim al Shah Brakatah. So the Lord, so I'm going to start off with Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, and then we don't go through, because they're not just going to give you the digital currency, just have that in the MOTB. They're going to starve these people out. They're going to place darkness. They're going to make it hell. There's a video going around, and they're telling that first it might take a couple months after the banking crash that people have to lose all their stuff, all their supply of food, and be helpless. So the Lord said, because Jerusalem is a city that likened to a city than a place, like a people than a place. Salakia. So this is Revelations chapter 13, verse 16, because that digital banking and everything that's said in African countries, Egypt is ditching the dollar, the US dollar, and everyone's putting forth that digital currency. So Esau Edom is the Lord is using Esau Edom as his tool. So this is Revelations chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So this is what the Esau Edom got, the blessing of the sword. They got all these abilities to have the fatness of the earth, the enchantments. All this power was given to him by the Lord to cause this image to be put forth. The modern Roman system, Esau Edom, the EU, and the NATO. That the image of the bush so both speak and cause as many who does not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So this is how. So if you want to eat, if you want to do anything, if you want to be a part of the system, you're going to have to get this digital identification and get a C-hip in your hand. And he caused all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a M-A-R-K, a mark, in their right hand and in their forehead. So this is their ultimate goal. So how they're going to do it is because if you look at how back in the day, let's just get it, in Ezekiel, I'm going to start at 1 and 2, and then I'm going to drop down to the point. Thou also, son of man, and this is talking back in the day when the Lord had to starve out our people from the wickedness they had been doing. Take these tithes and lay it upon thee, and portray unto a city, even Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. 144, call out Yahbashim al-Shai. So ultimately, this is all because they're trying to get their blessing back. They're trying to rule the earth. So they're going to cause a besiegement. Lay a siege upon them. And the modern day besiegements is these sanctions, these economic hitmen, these people destroying all the farmland, killing all the farm animals. Now they just drop SNAP. So what is those the so-called black woman? What is she gonna do? They don't have the food stamps. They don't have nothing. It's spiritual because she just passed and rolled her eyes. That's how the Lord's gonna destroy you. And lay and cast a mount against them. Said the camp against it and set battering rams. So they're using tools to try to get in the gate, but they're sieging, making sure that there's no food for our land. So let's drop down to verse 14. And the Lord said, 16. Actually, we don't start at 13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles. Well, I will drive them. So now you see all the food is not real. Everything, like it's an Amish farmer, he went out and he was getting fined thousands and thousands of dollars because they wanted him to put certain aspects in their food. Poison, like citrus acid. Would you believe that is, oh yeah, it's come from oranges or lemons? No, it comes from corn. So they're starving it out, making you put these chemicals that are going to make you hungrier instead of feeding you these GMO, these foods. And then as soon as they take it away, that you're chemically imbalanced, and now you're going to want it and not have it. Then shall Lord God, behold, my soul has not polluted them, for from my youth up till now I have not eaten that which is died for itself. This is talking about Jeremiah. Let's drop to the point. Verse 16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. And this is, we can bring it to modern day things. They're going to starve and cause a famine. The Lord is doing it. So now when you see Esau, Edom killing all these farms, having these train derailments, having all this stuff right before he's about to send forth his MOTB, his digital system, he was doing it for a reason. Because the Lord put this spirit on him, because the Lord, Esau, Edom is the Lord's whooping stick. The Lord put that spirit on him to start destroying all the farmland, telling him to, and then having Bill Gates buy it out, putting the V's inside different chicken farms. Like now you can't have a certain animal unless you give them a bunch of these juicy juices, which is going to just defile and kill you. So we're going to eat the bread, defile, and then he was going to break the staff of the bread in Jerusalem. And they shall eat bread by weight and with care. So now you're going to be able, now you're not going to have food. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. We don't get that and eat as much as you want, indulge yourself, go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac. No, you're going to be starving to death because the Lord put the spirit on this, that now this cyber attack power is about to go off, and then a grocery store only has 3 days worth of food. And most of the time, you see what happened when the pandemic first happened. People went out and they were killing each other for toilet paper. And they still can go to McDonald's and they still can go to Wendy's. So when that's not happening, they're going to be killing you and they'll go house to house. 144, now shot. I'm going to finish this off and I'm going to get something. And with care. So with weight, so they're going to be rationing, having this little bit. Oh, maybe I can have a couple bites and let my daughter have a couple bites. And then that's going to get irritated because once you start starving them, those people don't know how to famine. They have this thing, it's called 9 meals till the end of the world. It's a study that they did in Berkeley, and they did it to like patients that go, like they get trapped on an island or trapped on a boat for a long time. 9 days, I mean 3 days, 9 meals before they decide to start eating their friends. So they don't have care, so they don't be rationing it, eating it bite by bite. And they shall drink water by measure. So now a water bottle is going to be a precious commodity here. Because when that digital thing, people are not just going to go with it. They're going to have to starve it. So when they see a water bottle, that's going to be gold to these people. It's going to be a thing that, a commodity that women will do anything for it. Men will kill for it. It's going to be a priceless gem. And with astonishment, and that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. So they're going to starve to death. And we already know what happens when someone it's better to die from the sword than die from famine. Let me grab that. It's in Lamentations. I don't know where it is exactly. I'm just Google it. This is Lamentations, chapter 4. Let me see where I can start. Verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Because you pine away. It can take up to 22 to 27 days. They're starving to death of just like a regular, when they did that study, they were doing studies on the Holocaust victims, which is, those niggas needed to die. So Kala Yabashim al-Shad. But when they did it, it was like 22 to 27 days. And they say 3 days of water, but you can last a little bit longer. It's just very, very painful, and you start committing cannibalism. This is the precept from Lawan Amaf, Yahbashim Yashar Brakatah. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So you're going to see a man, when they're starving to death, they're not gonna care. Like, oh, look at his children, we're starving. Can we have a can of beans? Can you help feed my family? They're like, no, they're gonna beat your ass and tell them to get the fuck out of our door. We don't have no food. That's what they're gonna do. They don't have no pity. And then when they see you have food, even if you have a family, they're gonna kick open your door and take your food. But shall destroy their houses with the sword. So they're gonna come. The sword, the modern day sword, is a weapon. So you don't see people fighting gun battles in the street for little things, little tiny things. This guy, he was when I was in Riverside. I think this guy is a beast. Cut. Oh, Shalom, Yahweh, Yahbashim Al-Shah Brakatah. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for the great tribulation. So when that bread and that starvation comes, they're gonna be, you're not gonna like live in your house and say we can have first, they're not gonna try to go inside your house. Majority of the time when you do a raid and you know anything about military, you burn them out. If you can't get in, you just set the place on fire. And eventually they're gonna come out before everything burns, and then you just take them out. One by one. So that's what is spiritually what Edom's gonna do. He's gonna burn all you people out so you guys can take the Sihib, and then this is what's gonna happen on a daily basis because people are not gonna care. They're gonna have no pity on each other. They're gonna be killing each other for the lack of bread. And back in Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they are slain from hunger, for they pine away, stricken for the want of the fruit of the field. So they're just be starving, dying. You're not gonna even be able to think about anything. You're gonna just be thinking about food. Maybe I should just bow down to Esau Edom because I'm hungry. Maybe I should just be maybe I should go down to the Red Cross and if I find some food. Maybe this person next door, he kind of looks delicious. Maybe I should just knock him in the head. The children are probably tender. They didn't eat that much. This is what people are really going to be thinking. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly the sown places appear unsown. So these grocery stores, these Walmarts, Shalom Nathan, Yahbashim Al-Shah Brakatah. Yeah, brother. Shalom. Suddenly these unsown places, these Walmarts, these places where you get your food, even the Petco, because they did like, this is a smart thing on, I'm trying to think what doomsday preppers, so that you can also eat dog food. Well, no, that's going to be even gone. It's going to just be nothing. All these sown places are going to be unsown. Nothing, empty, barren. And that's going to happen within days, 3 to 4 days at max. But since people panic so much and how stupid Americans, it might even be in 24 hours, then people are going to start killing each other. Because now they're not going to have, because when this happens, the blackout is going to happen too. So they're not going to have entertainment. They're not going to have nothing. They're just going to be thinking about, I'm through. What are we going to do? We need more food. Because the greedy Americans, they just want more and more and more. And then you already see what happened when the lockdown happened. And people start stealing shoes. They were stealing stuff that didn't even matter. Like, what the hell are you going to do with shoes if the pandemic went bad? What? You got nice feet when you die in your funeral. Come on. the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall sound a sound which, when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. We can get that too. I think it's Amos, the 5th chapter. Oh, who shall be not afraid? But we don't get it after. In all that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear. So these friends, Brian might be your best friend all your life. But when he has to decide to feed his daughter and you have a bunch of food, that friendship is going to be ruined because you don't have no foundation to it, because it was all a fake lie that you were living. You were living because you were living in comfort, not as brothers. We understand what's going to happen, and so we had understanding that when we get it, we're going to have food, we're going to get stronger, and we're going to be closer to the Lord. So we're going to get closer together while everybody else is going to be fighting, killing each other. Thus said the Lord. And the earth shall stand still in fear. Because when this is happening, you won't see no smiling other than brothers. Let me grab this precept. This is Isaiah from the elder Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah, elder Yahweh Call. Let me just look at. I'm gonna look at it on my phone real quick. On the comment board on my phone. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 19. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened. So now you're going to see the power go out. You're going to see wickedness be on the highest level possible, spiritually and literally, and the people shall be as fuel to the fire. So these people are going to make it worse and worse. They're going to cause this, because people panic when bad things happen. You see, like when it was a shooting, a lot more people are, when that concert happened with Travis Scott, a lot more people died from getting stumbled to death than they actually died from what was actually going down. Now people just start panicking, they start doing craziness. No man shall spare his brother. So the Lord said his own foe shall be in their household. His home foe shall be their household. So you don't see your brother turning you in because he doesn't see you as his sister, or his brother. They're saying, he's preaching the truth. It's his fault. Or, no, I have to feed my daughter. I have to feed them. They're going to be killing each other. They're not going to care nothing about that. It's because this is a selfish society. We're going to grab that in 1 Timothy. And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat everyone the flesh of their own arm. They're going to eat their own family members. They're going to eat they're going to just be destroyed and killing each other for no reason, but because of the Lord put that spirit on them. And that's because this is a selfish society. The Lord said dangerous times will become at the last days. This is 2 Timothy, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at the top. This knoweth also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own self. So this is why you don't see someone turning their own family, because they think their life is more important than their regular brother. They're going to be killing each other, causing destruction. Shalom, Gadya, Gabardia, Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah, Shalom King, they trip over Black Friday. Yeah, I know. It's the craziest. Like, you see that how simple American the Babylonians are. Well, they'll kill themselves over a cell. They start fighting over the last Xbox for Christmas. So that's the crazy part. This is I didn't see this. This is Zechariah chapter 11, verse 9. Then said I will not feed you. That they die, let it die, and that is to be cut off. let it be cut off, and let the rest eat everyone's flesh one another. So this is what the Lord said. He's not going to feed those men that were going against the truth, the ones that were scoffing, mocking, those Esau the heathen. None of these people are going to be fed. The Lord is only going to feed the ones that he said, the ones that gave his servants drink, the ones that gave them food. Let me grab that real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 13. Therefore, thus said the Lord God, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. So the Lord said he was not going to feed you because you're not a servant to him. You weren't working for him when daytime was. And then now it's night. You're about to be starving. It's nighttime when the destruction happens and your judgment's going to go forth. Behold, my servants shall drink. So when we're drinking that beautiful yayan that heathens probably don't give us to just spare their life, and we probably don't kill them anyway, are those ones that are going to be saved, the helps of the prophets, and they bring us these delicious fruits, and the Lord probably drops, what's that called? Manna down on the earth and give us great stuff. I had a dream, a spiritual dream, that it was like the Lord dropped a care package, and I grabbed like 3 bags and I brought them into where I was staying, and when I turned back, because he dropped even more, it all disappeared. So this is what's going to happen. The Lord is going to do miraculous things, and that's why we got to be proud that we're serving the Lord, and we got to continuously do it fervently, vehemently. Behold, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be saved. So you're gonna be looking like when you're cooking up your daughter and eating her like sharing and having her weight, and you're looking at yourself and like, damn, we through. The Lord is really gonna destroy us. Yeah, this is when you're going to be ashamed. And then when you're in the kingdom, our people, they don't have that shame when we get in the kingdom, because we know, look at, these are the men that stood stiffly for the Lord. And I was just a bug out that has purple hair. I was preaching false doctrine, or I was just being a freaking sodomite. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy in heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow in heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So now we know, us, men of the Lord, we're vexed every day from what we see all the time. We see downtrodden people all the time. We see our people just being demons. We're vexed. Well, that's going to be completely turned around. Now, all the wicked people, they're going to be vexed, and they'll see smiles and rejoicing in our heart. This is from the brother Ashwaka. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. Okay, I was reading that, so I'm gonna finish that, and I'm gonna grab your other precept. Come, this is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. Know this also, that in the last days, perilous, what is perilous means dangerous times. It's gonna be a lot of dangerous times, and you can see it already. Judgment is going everywhere. You see people killing each other, doing all this wickedness. Perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own self. So selfish, doing only things that pertain to them. That's why you're going to see these people eating each other, because they think their life is more important than anyone else's. Covetous, boasters. So now you'll see, when, just like in the pandemic, when everything was going wrong, people, instead of thinking about, hey, maybe I should get right with the Lord, they were stealing shoes, breaking into restaurants, stealing drugs, doing all this wickedness. Covetous. Isn't we not in these times? Boasters, proud. So everyone's proud, and that's why many miseries will be coming on this earth. 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. Blasphemers, you seeing. If it's messed up, can you brothers tell me? Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation. This is tribulation. Great enticement to sin. That's what temptation means. But great destruction, trouble. That's going to be happening. Such as was not since the beginning of the earth. mean the beginning of the world, to this time, no man ever shall be. So you've seen all they said the Holocaust or World War II or times of what happened when Rome was taken over. It was millions of people that starved and people were killing. All the bad times you ever seen on earth, even the flood. You know how many people died in the flood? Only 8 people. It's going to be even worse than that. There's going to be a time that the brother has a perfect precept that this is Daniel chapter 12 verse 1. At that time shall Michael stand up. The chief angel, not the chief, Yahushua is, but a war angel, I think third in command of the whole thing. Michael, which means Micah, he is like the Most High. That high up angel, archangels, will have to come down and stand up for us. It's going to be bad, because you're going to see things that you'll never see in life. You're going to see newly created teachers. You're going to see ray guns. You don't see craziness. You don't see beasts. We're going to grab that. That the great prince was standing for the children of my people. There shall be a time of trouble as never there was a nation. So this is going to happen. And why is it going to be such a great time? We're going to get into Wisdom of Solomon, the 16 and 50, but let's get it in 11 real quick. Because this Lord is doing it for a reason. And you're going to see why. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11. I'm going to start at 15. But for the foolish devices of their wickedness, their dumb inventions that they created, they really thought they were on tap in the third and something great was going to happen, that they could just be in timelines and they was going to create these laser guns that, we're going to be able to just defeat the Lord. Wherein being deceived, they worship the servant void of reason. So they got deceived. The Lord put the spirit on Esau, Edom, to think, and our people to think that, look at these weapons, look at these tools that we're worship them. Worship the devil. Worship Esau, Edom. Wanting not in means to sin among the multitude, bear fierce lions. So the Lord is about to send up beasts that you won't even know. Bears, fierce lions, or unknown wild beasts, full of rage, newly created. You're gonna see, like if you ever seen the movie Mist, or like what's that show, Stranger Things. There's gonna be animals that you just thought that he just created in a video game, having abilities that you never even thought of, just gonna be coming out. I got one of those. Breathing out either a fiery vapor, breathing fire. How many animals you know that can breathe fire? Well, the Vikings, then, those beasts and those ones are going to come out through the sea. But then there's going to be things that are from a different dimension, thinking that you look tasty. They won't have the fear of humans like the animals do now. The Lord is going to put a spirit on these bears, and he might increase them and cause them to just devour you guys. And filthy scent of scattering smoke, shooting horrible sparks at her eyes. So it's gonna have, like, have you ever seen Doomsday? That he can shoot, we'll have Doomsday running around destroying, lest he repent. Whereas, not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also terrible sights utterly destroy them. Just being able to see them, they're going to be petrified and fall on the ground and die. Shalom Kaina Leya, Salaki if I pronounce your name. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16. And I'm going to start at 1 and 2, and I'm going to drop down to the point. Therefore, by the lights were the punishments worthy. These punishments are worthy for what you got to do. Due to the beast of torment, and instead which punishment dishes thy own people. So this is what the Lord, the servants of the Lord that we said that my people shall eat. Because right now the 2/3 are a part of Israel right now. They're going to be judged like how the Egyptians were judged. But when he's talking about his own people, he's going to be talking about those ones elect. It's God. They're going to be graciously. They're going to be able to survive this calamity. Thou preparest for the meat of a strange taste, even quail and stirrup. Because in the whale, the Lord was dropping quail from the sky. Well, think those miracles that be happening again. The Lord is going to make a standard to end that they desire food might for an ugly sight of beasts that love that which they must need desire, but stiffen for a short space might be made partakers of a strange taste. So we'll drop down to verse 20. Actually, 18. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 18. For some time the flame was migrated, that it might not burn up the beasts that were sick. So the Lord is going to put, when this stuff happens, you don't see miracles of the Lord putting spirits, having people shoot each other, shooting mines, but they're not going to kill the animals that he's going to set forth to destroy this land, to kill those things. They're going to be missing. So it's going to just, oh, you have food and trees over there. Well, it's going to be burnt up, and then you still don't have to deal with these animals attacking you. But themselves might see and perceive that the persecution was God's judgment. So see, how is this even possible? How is this beast still alive and not burnt up? And then everything, food is burnt up. Because the Lord is showing that this is judgment for you. Because you were wicked to all these heathens, to our wicked people. And at another time, it burned even the midst of the water and above the power of fire. So it might be burning on fire. You might think you can hide out in the lake, so we can't, oh, there's no animals. And it might come and still burn. It might burn even harder. That it might destroy the fruits of the unjust land. Instead, wherefore thou feedest thy own people with angels' food. So the Lord is going to give us, as he did in Egypt, when he dropped manna on the ground, he's going to give those that serve the Lord food, drink, stuff that miracles. That's what he's going to send forth miracles. When you don't want to know why he's going to do it, then sent them from heaven's bread prepared without their labor. So it's just going to come, just as he said. We're going to get it in Matthew, the 6th chapter. Able to contend every man's delight, agreeing to taste. But Salakia was looking for the point. Oh, Salakia, I missed it. This is verse 16. For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scorned by the strength of thy arm, with strange rain and hail and shower. When they're persecuted, they that could not avoid through the fire, for they also, which is most wonder at fire and more. Salakia, I'm looking for the point. The point is that when this judgment happens, they all know that it came from the Lord. If you read the chapter, this is what's going to happen. So, and you want to know why the Lord is doing this? This is Ezekiel chapter 34. Verse 13. Son of man, when the land sins against me by trespassing grievously, when they trespassed and did stuff, was using unfaithful. If you look in that particular word, grievously, showing a lot of unfaithfulness, believing that the Lord didn't do, so they look at what they're doing, portraying, showing their covetousness, being gods all over the earth. This is why the Lord will do it. Then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. So you're going to see judgment out of judgment coming from everywhere. You can look at the comment board. Kwan Nawaf, Yahweh Shemal Shar Brakatah. And this is Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. For what end is it for you? So these people these Christian pastors, are these false prophets, are these ones that are doing the Lord's work deceitfully. Why are you looking forward to the day of the Lord? The Lord is going to judge you too. But what is it? Are you going to be saved? No. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. It's going to be a very, very bad time. You're going to see more death than you will ever see ever on this planet. It's going to be death after death. There's going to be like a drop to the wave. But it's going to be light because I'm going to grab it. This is verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion, a bear met him. So you see, you might escape. Oh, you go out and go and get some food, and you see a newly created creature blowing fire, and you might kill another family running. You might make it to another building, and then what another beast is going to, a bear might meet you and went into a house and leaned a hand, and you might get out of that situation. And you might praise Allah or praise your thing, or you might be one that was teaching but was doing the Lord's work to Stephen. You might praise it, but then you get in that house and it leaned a hand on the wall and a serpent bit it. This is what's going to happen. This is Ezekiel from the elder Yahweh Bashim Shai Brakatha Yahweh. This is Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 10. You die like an outcast at the hands of a foreigner. I, the sovereign Lord, has spoken. So that's to our people. They're going to die the death of the heathen. That's when we read that chapter and apply in Wisdom of Solomon, the 16th chapter, 17th chapter, and 18th chapter, that you guys are going to be crazy and crying just like the heathen and Egyptians were crying in that day. Let me grab that in the 17th chapter. This is I'm gonna start at verse 5. No power of the fire might give thee light. The light, or when power comes up, nothing's gonna be able to get you from this darkness. But the bright flames of this star endured to the lighting of that horrible night. Only there appeared unto you fire kindled itself, burning buildings, very dreadful, being much terrified. They thought things which they saw that be worse than the things that they did not see. So they're going to see these apparitions, these demons that are going to be dying from fear for the illusion of the art of your magic. So Esau, Edom, and then those people, you thought you can use these trickery, thought you can use these devices. Were doing the illusion of magic. They were put down, and the vaunting of wisdom was approved for disgrace. For they that promised drive away terrors and troubles from the sick, so were sick themselves. So those magicians or Esau, they're going to be afraid too, that they're going to start killing you. That you for those men of the Lord that you thought were leading you, they're going to be sick and afraid too. And the only people that are going to be delivered are the true servants of the Lord. So we can't be stressed that when we see all these things and we hear all this famine, that we starve to death, because the Lord said that His servants shall eat. Because we gotta keep balance, not just judgment, but we also gotta say that we're going to be delivered out of this place. This is Matthew chapter 6. Verse 26. I'm going to start at 25. So these are the ones that are doing the work of the Lord and serving Him. This is what's going to happen. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat and what ye shall drink. Because we just read in Isaiah the 65th chapter that my servants shall eat. Nor for your body what ye shall put on. And not the life more than meat, and the body than bread. So you've seen the Lord, if you go in the 18th chapter, what He has did for His people in Wisdom of Solomon, but it also what He was going to say. He's going to have us eat, and we're going to, for the glory of Him. That's showing that He's a man of His word. He said we shouldn't live by bread alone, but everything that comes out of His mouth. When the Lord was getting tempted by Satan, now if we live by the word, now we don't have bellies of living water. We're going to be fed in the time of destruction. Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they weep, nor gather in the barn. Yet the heavenly Father feeds them. Are ye not much better than they? And then see, this is what the Lord said. I'll plug on what he's going to give us, because he's going to tell us about a spiritual power. But by taking thought can add 1 cubit onto your statue. Can you? Do we have spiritual powers? But we are. But why take his thought of raiment, considering the lily of the field, how it grows, and they toil not, neither do they spin? It was a time in Nehemiah that the Lord walking around for 40 years, never messed up. Manna comes down from the air. No, stop from that, because the Lord is just doing judgment for the wicked. All these wicked people are going to die. All the wicked people are going to die. We'll get back on a little bit on judgment. That's the best part. Because this is it's not wicked, because we have to think that we've been down so long. 9 things that I count. Great. Because Edom's our enemy, but our people have been our enemy for so long because they fell for Edom. So what is the great 9 things? Let me just grab it. A man in his heart. This is Sirach chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and 10 why I utter with my tongue. A man that have a joy of his children. So a lot of we can't even have children over here. So over here that you see, you have a possibility of them being an LGBT people. You have a possibility that some weirdo's going to steal them, put them in a van, and rape them. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy, of the fall of our enemy. That's what we want to see. Esau, Edom on the ground, under our feet, crying, begging, in slavery, and having our kingdom built up to see the great and the power of Yahweh Shai ruling this earth. You have a question?
Want a lesson?
Want a lesson? Yeah. You have any particular questions though? Do you see yourself on a sign, or do you know where your father's come back from? Like, what? You don't know your father?
Well, I know my father in heaven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's another thing that I identify who's the Lord's people. It looked Irish. Yeah. And those people come from these people. This is the West Indies, the Jamaican, the Saints of Benjamin. So those are the people that the Lord is coming back for. They're coming to deliver them out of this wicked place and set forth a kingdom of God that is going to be a ruling kingdom forever. And righteousness is going to be just spread out, and you're going to see Yahweh by Hashem Shai, which is the Lord's name, and Yahweh Shai is his son, pretty much make this whole universe a righteous kingdom.
That's right.
Amen. Get blessed. Let me grab some. Because that's what everything's waiting for. That's what we're waiting, because we have no continuing city here. That's why judgment has to come. That's why we hasten the day of the Lord to come and bring judgment upon this place. Because everything here is defiled. Everything here is destroyed. Regular food. We never even had a real banana. We never even had a real apple. We haven't even seen, like, if your tree, like an orange tree or apple tree is not 30 feet tall and don't produce fruit 10 years down the line, then that's not a real tree. It was grafted, it was GMO'd, it was all this stuff. If your fruit doesn't have seeds in it, then it's GMO. It came from a clone. This is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. That's why we seek it. That's why we put curses upon this place. That's why we tell the judgment of this place, because we're the prophets of the nations and to our people that the Lord is coming. And we're happy about it. So we have so much pleasure when we speak it, because we know this place is defiled, it's polluted. But him, therefore, let us offer sacrifices of praise to God continuously, that the fruit of our lips giving thanks to his name. That's why we do it. This is Micah. And that's why we tell our people, this is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise and depart, from this is not our rest. So we're restless here. We're running. We're continuous. So that's why we're out in the streets, following what our fathers have did throughout all the history, prophesying against these horrible kingdoms of famine, of pestilence, of war, because we're tired. We can't rest in here. Everywhere we see wickedness. We're vexed. Arise and depart, for this is not rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy us, even with a sore destruction. If a man walk in lie, saying, I will prophesy. Going to something else. This is Isaiah chapter 66. Let's do the kingdom scripture, and then I'll just head out. Let me grab this real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 16. For by fire and by the sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. So that's why the Lord said, some have to learn by death by plague. So he's pleading with the prophets. He put them out in the prophets on these highways and hedges, on these chief place of concord, pleading, and he's not going to listen. So now he's going to have to plead with fire and the sword. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. Come on. Let me just. Here it is. For this is verse 22. For as the new heaven and new earth will I make shall remain before me, said the Lord, and so shall the seed in your name remain. And it shall come to pass that a new moon to another and a one Sabbath to another shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcass of man and the transgression against them. For the worm shall not die, neither shall fire be quenched. They shall be a hoarding unto all flesh. This is why the Lord's doing it, because he's bringing forth glory, the worship upon him. So Isaiah chapter 65 verse 18, but be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I created Jerusalem, the city of peace, of rejoicing, and her people of joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more no more of a fence of an infant of day, nor an old man that shall not feel his days. So you won't see our children, because Esau, Edom, your children's about to die in slavery a lot. You heathens, you guys are about to be dying a lot too, because you guys fucked up. Because we got 1,000 years for you heathen, for at least 1,000 years to fuck you up, and then you can go back into your things, but you still don't get fucked up because you guys are not going to be right. But our people, this is talking about the Lord's people, so you're not going to hear weeping no more. The Lord is coming to wipe away tears. For the children shall die 100 days here, but the sinner being 100 years shall be accursed. So with that, let me just check the comment bar and then I'll head on. Oh yeah, you got it. The water king. I'm gonna read it because I didn't read George. Shalom Elder Sagala. Yabashim Asher Barakatah. This is on Noah. Isaiah chapter 65 verse 13. Therefore, thus said the Lord God, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but your servants, Salakia. So I read that earlier, but it's saying that all the people that were doing wicked, all the ones that are not the Lord's servants, they're going to be suffering in those times, and we're going to be able to eat, drink, have all this. The Lord is going to set a standard. He's going to show miracles upon this land so they know that it was the Lord that did it. For the Lord's name to be in glory. They know who's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They know who is it. Then shall they know chosen. Behold, my servants